Hi everyone, Simon Keeling here again, and it is Tuesday the 5th of February. Thanks for watching weatherweb.net. Don't forget it's the adverts around the screen that keeps us free of charge. By you coming back and using the site, that's what keeps us free of charge, so thank you for doing that. Latest Korean model is out. Just wanted to do a review really of where we go towards the end of the month and into the early part of March. Got a little bit of a wobble in there, but I think we can stick to the main story. This is the Korean 500 millibar flow anomalies for late February. You see this sort of mass here, look at blocking that's up there over Greenland and the northern parts of Newfoundland, and these below normal heights here across the Atlantic and into Europe. So this is hinting at the jet coming across the Atlantic, across the southern parts of the UK and into Europe with high pressure up here. Surface wind flows probably something like that. So what that would mean is that we've still got this massive cold air up towards the north of the country, but the UK looking like it is under that jet, building this picture of unsettled conditions at the end of the month. Now, for the early part of March, the Korean looks something like this. And again, you can see here we've got this big block look across the northeast of Canada, northeastern parts of the States, and across Greenland. The jet seems to have gone a little bit further south, look, into Europe, with this trough really developing quite strongly out here. So with that pattern, tends to make you think, are we going to see something like so getting going in the ridge, in the jet, and something like that as well, with the UK stuck in between the two, high pressure in here, and bringing down cold northeasterly winds again across northern parts of the country, perhaps another hit of winter into the early part of March. That kind of throws me a little bit, because I was going for this idea of late February into early March staying with this pounding of a jet stream coming in from the Atlantic. So that's kind of thrown me a little bit. And then for the for the middle period of March, this is how things look then. You see the block just retreating back into the States, the jet stream developing here through the UK, going more unsettled into the middle of the month. I'm not sure this is exactly the way things are going to be turning out. What I do think though is that we certainly go into a more unsettled period at the end of February to the early part of March, but we've just got this question mark over what happens early March. Could there be another bite of winter in there? At the moment I'm not going to go with that, but I think we do have to see it as a distinct possibility. So where are we getting any support for this from? Well, this is the MGO from the ECMWF, issued based on yesterday's ECMWF, and you can see it here. At the moment we're getting into phase 1, and we're drifting through the phases, getting into phase 4 right at the end of the forecast period here. Now phase 3 isn't the strongest of phases, but what it excuse me, what it shows is that down the line, once you get into phase 3, usually around about sort of 7-8 days down the line, things tend to be turning more unsettled, and we're into phase 3 here about the 15th of February, you see. So excuse me, working on that, we're looking at the 21st, 22nd, 23rd as getting into a period of more unsettled, windier weather. And you tend to find that in that phase the jet across the Atlantic is relatively south, so it's sort of Southern Ireland going through North Wales across the northern parts of England. So it's that brings the unsettled conditions. And if we look at where the MGO was on the MGO charts here from the seasonal output from the ECMWF, you can see that not much change really. Look, it's a little bit quicker in where it takes it, isn't it? I guess. Look, it's a little bit quicker. Let's just find the right chart. There we go. A little bit quicker. Look, that was where it had got the 15th of February on the operational. This is where it had got it. Look, on the seasonal, but it's pretty close. And the seasonal was taking us into phase 4 around the 21st, whereas the operational is taking us into phase 4 now around the 18th and 19th. So it's pretty close, and phase 4 is getting into a more unsettled pattern. Phase 4 tends to bring you an unsettled pattern, because it brings a positive, or more often than not brings a positive North Atlantic oscillation, which means that the westerly winds across the Atlantic tend to be on the stronger side. And this phase 4 can last for a good, excuse those messages there, this phase 4 can last for a good few weeks. So you know, we've got to look at the possibility of once those winds get in, of them hanging around for some time. And if we look back at the seasonal, you see, important thing to note here is notice how the black dots in here, which is each day of the MGO, look, notice how they become clustered in here hinting that phase 4 just slows down the pattern and that things get set in that pattern for some time. And this is what goes against me thinking that we're going to be seeing that ridge build into the northeast later on in the period, as hinted by the CFS and by the Korean. I'm just not sure that is the way that this is going to be progressing. So for now I'm going to go and stick with these ideas of a more unsettled end to the month, from about the sort of 19th, 20th, 21st onwards, then becoming wet and windy for a time, and that lasting into the early part of March. But we just need to watch that early part of March period for a threat of perhaps a brief snap of winter getting back in. So I just wanted to bring that to you really, and just show you what we were looking at the moment as far as the MJO is concerned. Hopefully that's been useful for you, and thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. Keep the sun shining, and bye for now.